Con noi l'ambasciatore della Nigeria presso la Santa Sede ci racconterà qual è la sua esperienza diplomatica.
My job at the Holy See has been a very interesting one. It has afforded me the opportunity of interacting with so many other ambassadors from all over the world. And in the process, I've learned so much that one will want to use such lessons and implement them back in Nigeria with a view to improving the societal standing in there. A few challenges, yes, will be one. Nigeria currently has some challenges in terms of security, and any time that we have a problem involving the priests, Catholic priests in particular, then of course the Holy See is bound not to be too happy about it. But because of the maturity from both countries, we've been able to manage and then preach understanding. And so far so good. We are having a robust relationship with the Holy See, and then of course we keep deepening them through all these cultural tools that we use, including the one that brought me to this place in the first place. So I am very grateful that the opportunity has been given to me by AracneTv to be able to come and experience this TOEFL festival, which is very, very educative, which I've also learned is very good for the health. So I will encourage you to keep hosting this festival. It also makes people who have been away from home to come home, and then of course promote the camaraderie within the society. So I think it's a very good thing that you have set up here. I really appreciate. Well, I would say that the relationship between Nigeria and the Holy See on the diplomatic plane is just like any other country that you want to. But when it comes to religion, I want to emphasize that Pope Francis, His Holiness Pope Francis, has always de-emphasized the issue of religion because he preaches interreligious harmony. And that is why at the Holy See you have ambassadors from Islamic countries who are also accredited to the Holy See, and we work together as a team, and you will not even know who is a Muslim and who is a Christian amongst us. So that's the beauty and the uniqueness of having, diplomatic, relations with the Holy See.
Che cosa ne pensa dell'attuale conflitto tra la Turchia e i curdi?
We would like to ask you, what do you think about the conflict, the recent conflict with the Turkey and Kurdi? Yeah, it's a big question.
No, yes. I would not be able to answer that because that is not my area. Yes, I can only talk about my appointment, my job at the Holy See.
In che modo possono essere risolti i conflitti tra le nazioni?
What do you think we can do to promote peace between people and?
In fact, I would say that cultural diplomacy is a precursor of peace in the world, and part of it is what we are doing now here, and interaction, promoting the arts, and then exchanging ideas, and of course, I enjoy the music. That those are the media that you can use to promote peace amongst people, and then understanding will follow, and then everything else follows, like development, like growth, like prosperity, and so on. So everybody, and even commerce, trading, it's encouraged because you've been able to establish some very good relationship, with the people. So it is very important that we keep respecting people. It is very important that we keep tolerating the cultures of others and promoting understanding amongst, nations. Yes.
Thank you very much.
L'Africa ha vissuto grandi conflitti all'interno del proprio continente. Come pensa che invece sarà il futuro dell'Africa?
So another question about this area. So Africa has lived a lot of conflicts in the past. So what do you think can be the future of Africa in the next years?
Well, I think from the look of things, Africa stands to grow very rapidly, with education, beginning to take roots. And of course, don't forget, in the next 15, 20 years, the population of Africa will be very tremendous. And of course, if you have an educated population, there's bound to be some innovations, improvements in all dimensions of human life. So I want to see Africa even superseding some other regions in the next 20 years. Yes.
So you think education is the first thing, no, for the future of Africa? Yes.
Education has always been the plank on which progress, can be made, because once education is there, of course, you have driven away ignorance, and then that can impact health. It can impact, even development. But in the absence of education, especially the female education, the female education is very, very important, because thank God that right now there's been a paradigm shift from the way people used to treat women education. But right now, that has changed, and people are beginning to embrace the fact that women should, be educated. And of course, if you educate a woman, you're educating a whole village. So I think education must be given priority or place in a scheme if we really want to ensure that there's peace, there is harmony, there's development in the world.
Thank you. This is very important to say about women. Thank you.
Allora, il flusso migratorio dall'Africa e quindi anche dalla Nigeria verso l'Europa e in particolare all'Italia sembra non arrestarsi mai. C'è un rimedio?
So the migration from Africa and Nigeria to Italy and Europe in general is very heavy. Is very number are so big. So what do you think we can do, or you can do, to stop this? You think again it's education, perhaps, and the possibility, that you can build in your country.
I would like to comment this way. In the 1930s, there was a general depression, and people moved from where things were not too good to where they felt things were better. Incidentally, Italians also moved from Italy to other places of the world, Argentina, United States of America, and till today you have a good number of Italians who are in other countries as a result of the depression of 1930-something, either themselves or their grandchildren. Now, in 2007, the economy of Italy was not, getting too good. And of course, that made some companies to relocate to Monaco, to other places, because they couldn't, make anything, in Italy. So the issue of migration has been there even before this century that we are in. It had been there even before the 19th century, because you just need to go back to history. Then you see that migration can happen as a result of unfavorable condition in a place where a person is domiciled. It can be as a result of political persecution. It can be for just, I don't like this weather again. I want to get to where I can enjoy weather. So as far as I'm concerned, the migration from Africa to Italy is just one of those things that had happened. What about from Asia to Europe, other parts of Europe? There's been migration. So it's not just Africa. But I think the solution, like I've always said, besides education, there has to be a deliberate policy, both African government and the European government, to ensure that this kind of thing does not happen. How? Ensure that there's enough development back in Africa. If there's development in Africa, people will not need to migrate out of Africa. But where you, like I always tell people, it's a pull-push situation. There can be no push without a pull. There can be, when you say demand and supply, why is it migration from Africa to this? If you take African products, for instance, a lot of chocolate is eaten in Italy. Where is the cocoa coming from? Majority either from Brazil or from Africa. Now, if you do in such a way that you can also manufacture the chocolate in Africa, instead of taking the raw materials here, you would have, kept some African back in Africa. But if you take everything and come here and produce it and send back there to some places, they will need to come here to also taste the chocolate. You understand?
Sure.
So some of the tasting of the chocolate made them to migrate, to Italy.
In che modo favorirebbe i rapporti tra l'Italia e il suo paese, la Nigeria?
How will you develop the relationship between Italy and Nigeria?
The relationship between Nigeria and Italy has been a very long-standing one. As I speak to you, my sister-in-law is from Bologna. We married from Bologna as far back as 1970. So I didn't even know I would be coming, as an ambassador to this place. We should also interest you to know that even in the 50s, in the 40s, Italians have been in Nigeria. They married, have children. Some of them will never come back here. They're already, Nigerians. So it is that kind of relationship that we have had right from time immemorial that we still, and for information, any petroleum, ESO, and so on, where are they? They're in Nigeria. So it shows you that, we've had a very robust relationship with Italy, and then, of course, we keep deepening it. We keep making it, better and better. Yes.
Especially for women, no? The question, sometimes we know in Italy that there are a lot of Nigerian women here sold by some people and treated not very well. So this is really a big problem, no?
Yeah. Like I said, when you have migrants, you have skilled and unskilled migrants. There are two categories. So you can have those who are not skilled. They will be doing all those kind of things you are talking about, because they don't have the skill. Number two is that depending on how they came into Italy, like if I came in where I came to do work, I have the work permit and all that, of course I will not be, standing on the women will not be standing on the road. Yeah, but I think rather than us looking at it with some kind of that despicable act, I think we could also find a way to integrate them into the society and then make them to be useful both to themselves and the Italian society. When you talk of prostitution, it's not just in Italy. It's not just about Africans. Yes, you go to Germany, of course you see prostitutes. You go to America, you see prostitutes. So, and they are not Africans. So it means that it is something that goes beyond, a particular, country. Yes, it has to be. It's a social problem that should be looked in the context in which, it really presents itself, and then find a lasting solution to them. It's a global issue. It's not just restricted to Italy or Germany or anything.
Nella speranza che ci possa ospitare presso la sua ambasciata per proseguire questa intervista, un'ultima battuta. che cosa significa la cooperazione internazionale?
So, in the hope that there will be hosted AracneTv in your embassy to continue this interview, he would like to ask you a last question.
Okay.
So, what do you think about the issues of international cooperation?
I've already answered that. The world needs to be at peace. If the world is not at peace, everybody suffers. Why? Because globalization has brought all of us together. So if I have a pain on my right hand, of course the whole body will not be feeling fine. Yeah. So that is the situation in which the world has come to be. So there must therefore be cooperation amongst nations. There must be, a deliberate effort through diplomacy. There's what we call soft power. The soft power is actually what you call, the cultural diplomacy. I come here, I use my music, you like my music, you want to come and see, what we are doing in Nigeria, you come there, you like it. You say, I want to stay back. We say, okay, please stay. So, and then of course the world, moves like that. The man who was here before has been in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is not Italy. He's not even coming back. He has his family there. So he only comes to visit. So it means that if there is no cordial relationship, if there is no international cooperation between Italy and America, there's no way Italians will be free to stay in America, vice versa. So also in Africa, in Asia, and so on. So it is very, very important that the whole world cooperates and then live in peace so that all of us can enjoy what God has given to us, to enjoy.
So peace and then cooperation.
Exactly.
Yeah, thank you.
Exactly.